Yeah.
How you going, honey?
Okay. Yeah, just wanted to be completely honest, I don't even really know um how do I say the thought kept coming to me about Reiki. I don't even know why, because I'm in the place at the moment of um my thoughts are like, just, I'll try it. I don't even know what it's going to do for me. That's where I'm at the minute. And it's um yeah, I don't know what's going on. I haven't been really um having an enjoyable time, I guess you would say. um to the point of um like I've always said, like I like just to be quiet, be by myself and stuff like that. But um it's kind of gotten to the point now where um yeah, I just don't even really want to talk. Like, um there's a lot of contradictory parts to it as well. Like I feel sometimes that, like, lonely, alone and lonely, but at the same time I don't want to go out. I don't want to mix and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know where I'm at with a lot of stuff. And I probably do need to own up to the thing of having spiraled downwards and not um not yeah, just not being very positive to much at all. um and just, yeah, it's like, it is weird. There's that feeling there of like I yesterday I just thought to myself, like, I don't know, like I needed to be held or something. But then it also felt like that would be my worst nightmare if, someone came and said, "Oh, here," I don't know how I would take that. Um, and yeah, so it's on some levels it's what I want, but on other levels that's contradictory to what I want. Um, and then there's just all the other side things of yeah, it gets into like the whole self-loathing side of things, I suppose, is which that's not how do I say, it's not something that I set out to think about, but it's just there in my actions. Um, or yeah, just how my body is responding to it, I suppose, is there's just like not sleeping well at all, not like lack of interest in food. Like I don't even really, yeah, that's what I mean. And my body's way of responding to it, I guess, is that I just don't even really get hungry. I don't I don't think about food. Like, I do eat breakfast, only because I really feel like that's out of habit. Um, so yeah, I do that, but then um, I'll go all day. I won't really think about or even feel the need for anything else. I just don't, like, the need or the interest, I don't feel is there. And yeah, so, and then I'll get to dinner time and I'm aware in my brain that I maybe should eat something, but I just honestly think I would feel revolting if I ate something, because I just genuinely don't feel like it. It's that, like, I don't know if you've ever been. made to eat something when you just really haven't felt like it, and you feel, well, I do anyway. I won't put it on you, but I do. I just feel like, oh God, I really didn't want this, like, but if somebody's like, here, take it, eat it, sort of thing. And then I did just to satisfy somebody else or whatever. And it's not, it just doesn't feel good. So, um, yeah, so, um, that's just a couple of things in a nutshell, I suppose, is, yeah, I know that the whole, it's a tricky one though, because I just genuinely don't want to go out and stuff like that. But I feel bad when family or close friends or somebody says, come over, and it's nothing that I don't want to, like, not be nice, like being mean to them or anything, not that, but I just don't want to go. Like, I like to hear from people, and then that's that. I've got to go up to Brisbane. That's when you said where you lived, and I thought, I'm not really sure where that is, because I've got to go to Brisbane tomorrow.
Right.
And I thought if it was close by or something, maybe, but it's not, I don't think, from what I worked out. So anyway, I mean, yeah. Um, but I mean, Matthew invited me up there tomorrow because his girlfriend's mum and they wanted us for lunch for Mother's Day, which, I know that that's a lovely thing. And I feel horrible. I'd never ever say it to them, but it almost like goes along the line of that with the eating thing, is like when you do something for somebody else, it doesn't feel all that good. And yeah, so I'll go, and I'll go tomorrow because, that it's a nice thing that they're doing, but it's my own son, but I just don't want to, yeah, I don't know. I struggle to talk to people these days, and um yeah, it's it's all the opposite of probably where I used to be. But yeah, so anyway, it's just it's sort of it's been on my mind for a little while to, yeah, I don't know, like, it's there about like, oh, I've got to do something about this, but then I'm like, but why, and what's it all worth, and nothing will probably work anyway. And that's what I mean about where the negativity and stuff comes into it. It's like, well, why bother, you know um yeah, so, and it's not in my mind of putting anything or anyone down, but it just feels like sort of been there, done that, and here I am again, and like going around in circles and kind of thinking, I mean, it is a giving up thing, I suppose. I have to face that. Like, I feel like I have, yeah, just given up, like, just, but then on the other side of that too, like, I find myself, like, I'm here talking to you now, so there's must be like a tiny part somewhere that has not given up completely. Um, but it's in the back of my mind. Like, I've probably thought about it several times about reaching out for some help or whatever, but then it always comes back to me of like, well, what's it, like, and I think that's where I got to yesterday, was just, just, you know, give it a go, see how it goes. And I kind of felt like I chose not to because I was aware of the time of night. It's in the evening and stuff like that I messaged you, and I was almost going to message back and say, look, hey, there is this. Should I be doing this? It's too late now because I'm here, I suppose. But, I felt like asking, should I be doing it because of where my mindset is at? Like I'm here to do this, not with, oh, yay, I'm going to try this, I'm going to do it. And but it's more like, give it a go, but I don't know, so, and it's just like that with everything at the moment of not, not that it's the be all and end all, but I just, I don't know, like there's, I know there's a darker side to this, um, which I don't even know why that causes some tears, but it is because I just feel like all the what you might call like the lighter or potentially lighter side of it, I feel like um like what's the point? You know, I haven't used I haven't used oils or crystals or cards or anything or done any of that kind of nature of stuff for so long. And the only way I use oils or anything now is just they smell nice, you know. Um, yeah, and yeah, so it is what it is, yeah.
Thank you for sharing. What do you feel? There was a couple of points that you said in there. What do you feel is holding you back?
What's holding me back? It's probably just me.
What
I mean,
part of you?
I take ownership for it all. Like I know that nobody else is pushing my door closed at night and saying, stay in there. Um, and what part of me,
What do you feel is stopping you from going out, from fulfilling your life, from connecting with people? Because there's that small part of you that says, I'm feeling a little lonely. I'd like to go out. And then there's the other part of you that's like, fuck no.
um,
Mm,
I honestly don't know. I can't come,
mm,
I know when there's things like I might see something online, like a group or something, and I think, God, I've got nobody to go with. So, and I wouldn't go on my own. Um, um, yeah, I don't know. I've got, um, yeah, I just,
down. Mm, sorry, go for it.
oh no, I was just going to say, I just sometimes feel like when I'm out, um, there's something there about getting in the way, but I don't know what that is. I don't know where those words come from. So,
Mm, mm,
yeah, it's like I don't know what that's about.
Yeah. It's about being in this, what doctors would even call depression, what we would call a dark night of the soul, where you're sitting in this abyss or pit where it feels very lonely, isolated, disconnected. There's a part of you that keeps wanting to claw up to the light, but it feels too hard. What's the point? And that's all that mindset. That's the whole mindset that keeps us, our ego, our human that wants to keep you safe, locked behind closed doors, isolated, because it's too scary out there. It's too loud out there. It's too bright out there. It's like people are going to hurt you, harm you, or whatever belief system that you have that's running your subconscious or your programming that's telling you it's not safe out there. The desire to, yeah, I'd like some interaction today, but then the other part of you immediately just goes, no, it's not safe. You don't want to do that. And then so we stay exactly where we are. And it's that requiring that shift of mindset. And my love, as much as we can light you up and turn you on and create that shift, it's still the consistency, the daily rituals, the daily tasks that's going to keep the momentum going, because we're not going to get motivated instantly. Like motivation doesn't knock on your door and suddenly I feel all motivated. It's like, it's the steps that we take daily. It's consistency. It's those little rituals, morning routines, whatever you want to call them, just like eating breakfast, that keeps us going and shifting the mindset. For you, it's like this programming has been running for so long, for so long. And if anything, like you said, it's keeping you stuck in that spiral, but it's going down rather than up, because you're listening, which is what we're here programmed to do, to what is being said in your mind. And you're believing it, which is also what we're programmed to do, and believing it to be true. We're needing to rewire that programming, tell ourselves a new story, because let's face it, none of that's true. Like it's definitely an intense feeling because we've conditioned ourselves to feel that way. Because as human beings, we're not our thoughts and we're not our emotions, but we really do like to believe that we are. But we stay stuck in those patterns because we continue that same emotion, same thought pattern, same process. And we're choosing not to, because we can't be in two lanes. We can't be, yep, I'm doing okay, I'm content, I'm feeling connected, or this one, which is kind of where we're at the moment, which is all of the isolation and feeling a little bit down, depressed, whatever you want to call it. May not be feeling like depression for you, but you pretty much said all the symptoms that one would label it to be, right? Which is just not feeling fulfilled or happy in life, right? But the jump or the switch over just seems too hard because it requires consistency. But it requires consistency to stay here just the same. But this is easier because it's been long programmed in your mind. It's like trying to learn a new skill. If you're wanting to learn how to, I don't know if you can play the piano or the guitar, like trying to learn that is going to take daily practice, daily skill sets, daily like, yep, okay, I can do this. Or you could just go, oh, I tried it once. It's rubbish. Never going to get it. Of course not. Because, it takes more than once. So it's the same with shifting this for you, with you, as you, to feeling more fulfilled in life. And yeah, Reiki will start to help you bring in that beautiful energy and definitely tune you with that energy and help you feel lighter at least. But until we continue with the programming or the, telling yourself all the positive aspects and literally drowning out the negative stuff rather than it being the other way around. So at the moment, your negative thoughts, so to speak, or just the not so happy good thoughts are drowning out all the good thoughts, because you have a good thought and then it just like, no. Right? You mentioned mindset, so I'm just like using your words to try and articulate in a way that you're going, okay, yeah, I can see that, I can make that make sense. You've heard all this before. It's not new. Not new.
Yeah. And I suppose that's where a lot of my thoughts have been lately is, like just questioning, I suppose, within myself, what I don't mean this exactly as I say it, but I can't think of other words, but it's like, what is the purpose? But I don't mean it like that. I don't mean like, what is my purpose? I'm just like, well, we're born and we are here, and what do we, like, yeah, just, why do we always have to be, well, we don't have to be, that's the thing. I mean, but why am I feeling like, or why have I stumbled upon this potential path of striving to be better? Because like before, I think back to when I was a kid, and you just lived life. You didn't look at, if someone, they didn't back when I was little, but if someone had oils or candles or whatever, something, it was for no purpose other than they just smelled good. you know um I didn't know of anybody that had the, that had crystals or anything along those lines, but if they did, it was just for decoration. you know Music of any sort, it was just for the pleasure of listening to. And then I sort of feel like somewhere along the line I came into this world, if you like, of oils can do all this and that, as can crystals and music and stuff like that. But prior to knowing all that, I just liked all those things because the fact that I just liked them. And that's where I kind of come to the thing of like, well, why now am I trying to get some purpose out of that? Why am I? And it's even with like Reiki or anything. I know that, there's all the things of this and that. It's all been proven to some extent, and or whatever. Um, but it's like, is it just not because it feels nice? It feels that there's that level of maybe care or compassion or something that someone is giving to the other person, not in a I expect something back way or anything like that. It's just something that they're doing. Like I used to go years ago, I used to go, she did Reiki as well. I didn't know about it at the time. I don't actually think back then, it probably was called Reiki, but she didn't call it that. She called it, it was just energy transference or something like that. Um, but it was actual massage as well. But and I didn't go there for any other purpose other than it just felt nice. It was good for my muscles or whatever. And yeah, there's something, maybe just trying to, I don't think I've been living um it's funny, isn't it? Like you start out to do something else and leads you right up some other garden path.
Perfect. And
Because
you,
I maybe just realized that I don't know if it's true or not, but it comes to me that maybe I haven't been living my authentic life all along, trying to following the path or whatever you want to call it of oils and crystals and just that the whole realm of that. Maybe me getting into that or looking into that is like forcing something that was never meant to be for me. Maybe it was at the time and it no longer is, because um I feel like I feel like I feel like I was me all along, and then I deserted that. Of Oh yeah, I've deserted that part of myself in search of something bigger and brighter and something that maybe sounded better at the time. I don't know, but because I look at it now and back in the day, I was me with all my faults and whatever. I mean, if you can hear me derailing here, just for God's sake, stop me, because I think I don't know what I'm doing at the minute, but I look at my life back, way back, and I was just me, just doing my thing, whatever that was, like bumbling along probably, but ignorantly so, I was just doing life.
all right, my
And
love. Yeah. Let's just give you a moment. Let's give you a moment, because there's a couple of things that came up here that I'd love to, rather than continue to reminisce about the past, something that will give you like more focused attention. There's a couple of things that you said. Not living your authentic life, and not allowing yourself to feel good, to see good, to see beauty in this world, to believe that there's good and beauty in this world. It's kind of, and things only have value if we give them that. Like your oils and crystals have value if we give them that, because it's all about your intention. So you said about living your authentic life. What does that look like? And if it doesn't make you happy, then it's not your authentic life. Let me tell you that straight off the bat. So when you speak about right now, living your authentic life, what does that look like and how does it feel? Stripping back all the oils, all the work, all the crystals and all that stuff, because it's just stuff that is meant to bring us joy, like you said. That's all they're there for. But if we're not allowing them to, then we won't either. So what does your authentic life look like?
My authentic life, it's just me being me with no or very little questioning of myself. And I know, I mean, see, it becomes tricky because I have heard and learnt all this and that. So I feel like, just putting it out there, I feel like some of the stuff I'm about to say could be seen and heard as being wrong, but it is what it is. But I know without questioning, we don't really learn, we don't learn much, maybe not as much. But there was a time in my life, like back, I didn't question things. Like, I went to bed at night to sleep, and that's what I did. I got up in the morning to do whatever I had to do in the day, and that's what I did. No questions, not waking up in the morning and thinking, oh, I really don't want to go to school, or I really don't want to go to work, or why do I have to, and all this and that. I just did, and got through the day and dealt with what it dealt me, but without really carrying it over to the next day. I didn't have like the worries and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, like as I grew older, worries, there's probably a better word, but some things would stay on my mind, but then I started learning all this stuff. And it just felt like everything got tricky and really, really deep. Am I lazy? Am I lazy? Am I lazy? Because I don't want to do that. It's what comes to my mind right now. Because what's going on for me right now, and I feel a lot in day-to-day life, is that I was here and then I got to here and then I've gone back to here in a lot of ways. If we talk about fitness and health and even all that side, I went to the gym a lot. And I mean, I've known you a little while now, but you didn't know me when I was literally like a size 8. There was a lot of wrongness in that as I got to the size 8, not in a healthy way. But even that tells me now, it makes me think, I did that, I wanted that, and I did that, and I was still not happy. And now look at me, I'm back to where I started from, body shape and wise. Am I the healthiest and fittest? Far out, no. A long way from it. But I don't really know what's going on here. Yeah, because
Here's another check-in question. Are you happy?
Not right now.
When was the last time you were happy?
Genuinely, without question.
If you have to think that long and hard about the last time you were happy, that's something, right?
I mean, there's been times that I've been, I've had a laugh about something and it's made me happy, but genuinely, deep down, not a care in the world, nothing
Yeah.
out there giving me anything. I would have been 6.
And that's the thing. When we look back to our childhood, we had no responsibilities. We didn't have to worry about stuff. We had a routine gifted by our parents or our primary caregivers, and that's what we did. So it's not until we had to become adults, find our own employment, support ourselves, clean ourselves, manage ourselves in all its capacity, which is why there's so many NDIS clients in the world right now. They don't want to grow up. They want to be looked after because let's face it, being an adult's challenging. Having to take all responsibility for ourselves is challenging. But that's your mission. That's your mission in life, is to have self-mastery and self-love. That's what we're here for, to manage our emotions, to live a life that we actually quite enjoy and love for the most part. Because yes, there's going to be shadow and light. There's dark and sunshine. Of course, there's moon and day. So there is going to be ups and downs. But if you're not experiencing any ups and all you're experiencing downs, then this needs to shift. Your body needs to shift because you're carrying all of that, which is why feeling like going out is scary as fuck. And then, you feel sick and you're not desiring to eat. You're not sleeping. They're all signs and symptoms of your mindset taking control of the body and being in that pit of despair, for want of a better word, not experiencing any joy, any bliss, any happiness in life. That is what typically requires change in order for us to, we're not supposed to be happy all the time, but nor are we supposed to be feeling like this all of the time. There's this equilibrium of being able to, as you said, go through my day and not be overly concerned, thinking about what I'm doing in the morning, thinking about what I'm doing at night. Like I've got things that I've got to do in the day and I'm feeling okay about it. Just okay is good. But I'm not supposed to be like, oh my God, this is such an amazing day. And no, we don't do that everyday life. That's bullshit. Finding that equilibrium, which is just a matter of peace, going, life's challenging, but I've got this. The moment you're not saying I've got this, you're questioning everything, which is just ego, just the mindset, which is what happens when we go down that rabbit hole, which is normal. It's normal. We're letting it control us. We're allowing it to control our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our actions. And that's what's requiring the change, because it's not serving you, because you're not fucking happy anytime. Very rarely. Very rarely. And it will require daily practice of new rituals, new routines, for wants of better words, new day, like brushing your teeth, saying things to yourself differently every time I've got that hair that you had before.
Yeah.
Saying new things to yourself. Yes, I do want to go out. I'm going to meet like-minded people. It's going to feel amazing tomorrow to be in the presence of my son and his, mother-in-law and have these people like honor me being a mom. It's a fucking amazing feat. Oh, it's not something I'll ever experience in my lifetime. Yeah. So allowing yourself to embrace that, telling yourself a really good story about it, rather than the one that you're currently saying, where it's, you're going because you're feeling obligated to, rather than, actually, you know what, this is a really beautiful thing that they're doing for me. I've done fucking enough for those kids growing up. This is one day a year that they can honor me. Beautiful. The drive to Brisbane will be lovely. You can put some nice music on in the car, because music lifts your mood, yes, like you said. But it's, rather than looking at, these are just tools to help you move through life, to enjoy life. But if you're looking at them going, they're a fucking waste of time and money, and what's the point of it all anyway? That is the point. that they're just there to help you enjoy life. And if you're not enjoying any aspect of life, it's because that has taken over. That kind of like little dark cloak has taken over, and that requires a shift. Because the shift of the vibration, and yes, of course, Reiki can help shift it, but it's the consistency again. Stuff that we tell ourselves every moment, every day, until we rewire it into our body, we can bring our vibe up. So we just feel good in our body and feel good in our life. Because that's why we're here.
Yeah, I feel, and I mean, I get it, like the work. Well, it is that, isn't it? It's work. It's not easy. And if I'm to be, I don't know if I want to do the work.
Then what's the alternative?
Just to live, just to go. And I wish I hadn't learned all this stuff.
You learned it for a reason.
See, I kind of, when you were talking just then, I kind of had a thought to myself, like, and this is a bold thing, so it's not exactly true, but everything was okay until I started to try and change. It wasn't. I know that. That's where the whole thing comes in, but it felt okay. And just now, everything feels so hard. And that's where if I didn't say it, I was thinking it anyway. But when I first messaged you, I was just like, I am just exhausted. Like I'm tapping out, exhausted. I took yesterday off. I did have a doctor's appointment. It was just for a repeat on some prescriptions, nothing big. But I could have gone to work. But no, I couldn't because because I'm in that place of, well, I put myself in the place I chose. I take responsibility for all this. It's not like I'm saying, oh, what happened? I chose it. I chose to start, going to the gym and doing all this and that years ago because I was a size elephant and then, got down to, yeah,
But you also chose to stop.
exactly. Yeah, because it became, how do I say it?
Hard work.
It was, well, it caused a bit of a thing between Richard and I, and, you know, just the whole money side of it. It's not his fault. I still chose to stop, but, um, going to the gym and I know looking back, part of it, I did have to, at the very least, I did have to taper back because it was getting dangerous. It got too far. And I suppose that's part of a little lesson or message or whatever for myself, is that when I do things, do I do them too far? Do I go too far? And, so it's like when even getting into any of this side of things, do I go too far? Do I there's some sort of message in there that yeah, maybe I shouldn't have like spent money on this, that, and the rest of it.
It does happen when we go through our spiritual awakening that we do feel this way. We start questioning everything. The key is not to stay there, because is the gym dangerous? No. Is my intention towards it? Yes. Is it my actions? Yes. But the thing itself isn't. And either way, we always still have a choice. And you're choosing to still stay stuck in that energy of, well, that's just a waste of time. The crystals were a waste of time. The oils were a waste of time. We're like, well, just leave them then. And you don't use them. But is that making you happy? No. Okay. So using them didn't make you happy because you questioned them. Not using them doesn't make you happy because you're questioning them. So can you find a balance? Well, actually, they just smell nice and they look pretty. So I'm going to use them with that intention. That will make me happy. So do that. So this is helping you to navigate a pathway where it feels good, whether I like to see them or not, rather than being hung up or stuck in, well, when I did that, it ended up this way, or this cycle, or this pattern. Because now you've learned that, okay, if you go to the gym again and continue in that way, it's unhealthy. But can I create a new way? Because there were components of that that I enjoyed that made me feel good. So now I can find the balance. But that's what life's about, finding the balance in what is working for us. Because eating shit all the time isn't healthy, but eating cleanly all the time isn't much enjoyment. So we've got to find the balance. That's what happens when we grow up. That's what happens when we navigate through life, becoming the human. No longer do we have a parent that says you can eat this and you can't eat this. We've got to make those choices. We're taking full responsibility for the choices that we have made, but then we got to learn from them and make better choices for the ones that didn't make us feel good or didn't serve us. And are you, because you said, oh, it's hard work, and yeah, you are absolutely exhausted. So what we want to do when we're absolutely exhausted is just quit. But rather than quitting, we're just going to rest and continue on things that serve us and give up shit that doesn't, or stuff that doesn't serve us. And that includes our mindset, our emotions, and our actions. Because are you doing the work that is actually serving you? Not much, because you're in the alternative, because you can't be in both lanes at the same time. And yes, doing the right thing, for want of a better word, like being conscious of our thoughts and being mindful of our emotions and eating healthy and well when that serves us, and drinking lots of water and watching different things. Yeah, that's conscious. It's conscious effort. But the alternative, because we're going to, like going to the gym, it's going to be painful one way or another. This is the alternative pain, because this is doing the work. We're just surrendering to it and we're just staying stuck in that loop. That's still doing the work. This doesn't look like it because it's on repeat. But when we start to feel good and start doing the good work that is actually making us feel good overall, yeah, we can have rest. It's not like, it's just like taking your feet off the pedals. The momentum's still going for a little bit. You just can't keep spiraling down. It's like, okay, I've got to keep coming back over because this feels good. And then choosing balance for you. But what's happening with you is like, I'm choosing to stay here in this situation, space, emotions, thoughts, because that looks too hard. And every time I've tried to do it in the past, it's just too hard. And my mindset is just questioning everything. And I'm not ready, or I don't want to bother or do it again, because it's going to be hard work climbing back out of the pit. Yes, it is. But what's the alternative? Sinking further down it. So you either climb up or sink down. You're not going to stay where you are. It's going to get better or worse, because that's just the law of physics. That's the universal law. Universe is constantly expanding, so must we. And if we're choosing not to, then we're going to sink deeper into whatever this pit is, questioning more about life, feeling unhappy for overall.
Yeah. As you were talking, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm just gonna just gonna I don't know, just live life. I'm just gonna do what makes me, it won't always feel good. Um, because sometimes, you get bored or just pissy for whatever reason. Um, and it's up to me to sit there for a minute or do something to change it. But I think I'm just tired of trying to make myself something something better, or I don't know, better is not the right word, something else than what I always was. And I don't know what I always was. That is just, I was always just me. I didn't have, well, we all have labels, don't we? We're all something, we're a whatever. But I'm just gonna turn it around and just go back. I think part of the lesson for me is it's okay if you want to try and be better. At the end of the day, and I don't mean this in a put down way, but I'm at the end of the day, I'm not going to be some, uh, again, it's not a put down, but I'm not going to be anything of notoriety, or what is it, what would, like something that someone can look at and go, oh, wow, I don't want to be.
Not
You
everyone's
know,
path.
I would like to try and think that I could do some good somewhere, but you know, whatever, I'm just me being me. And that's all I ever was. And I was happy until, the first real unhappiness that I can remember is, you know, the point of when I started getting abused as a kid. And from there, I can clearly mark that as, yeah, that was a shitty thing to do. It changed my life forever. And I feel like ever since then, you know, stuff has happened as it does to everybody. Life happens in whatever way. Um, but that would be my point. I pretended for the next 4 years that, life was rosy and, hide everything away and nobody knew. So I kept everybody happy and stuff like that. Um, and then my dad died. So, that was not good. So then I had abuse happening on top of my dad having died. And I still carried on like, everybody's happy and nobody knows. So keep keep things calm and peaceful. But then aside from all that, then life just goes on doing. So I think where I want to be, genuinely where I would like to be, is back just doing what I do of a day, not not stressing about, you know, feeling like I have to keep people happy or um not make people worry. I don't want people to worry, don't get me wrong. I don't, but just living my life almost I don't know. It feels almost like obliviously, but I know that's not possible. But yeah, just getting up and going to bed and doing what I do each day and night based on what I think at the time is right. Because it's not always right. I know that. Like, after the event, you can think, oh, shouldn't have done that maybe. But at the time, so long as I think what is right, that's all that I think that's all anyone can ever aim for is so long as you feel at the time that genuinely what you're doing is good and right and you're not harming anybody else, you know. Um and just yeah,
That's a beautiful intention.
because
But
it just feels like that's what my life is doing to me regardless. I know I have my choices in what I do and all this and that, but I look at like the big picture and how I was here, I came to here, and I really feel like I've gone a circle. Not in all aspects, but in a lot of them. And it kind of just points to me like, what are you doing? The whole, I know everybody asks themselves, what's the purpose? What are you doing? The meaning of life, blah, blah, blah. I don't mean it like that. I just mean it like my life is trying to show me it's not that, you know, the life you've got. I 100%, the one thing I have not and will not, to the best of my ability, ever drop is my gratefulness for where I'm at, regardless of what I've been through, where I'm at, what I'm doing, where I'm going, what I've got, the whole package. I will always be grateful for. I'll just be grateful. And yeah, I think I'm just going to drop the whole thing of I need to be better in some way. It's just maybe I don't. Maybe I don't need to be better. Maybe I just, yeah,
okay.
because, yeah, it's not like, you know, being born into some mega rich royalty or whatever kind of situation where your life path is almost kind of set for you, and you've got to do great things, and that I'm obviously not that. And that's what I was born into. And I think there's some, why do I feel that I have to try and be better than or more than maybe what I am in this minute? Why do I have to? I can't. Why can't I just
Okay.
accept?
This is a good question. Let's go back to this question. What makes you feel like there's something to be better? Where does that desire come from? Where do you feel it? Because you're not thinking it, because the moment it comes up, you're like shooting it down in a hurry.
What do I do?
Where is this? You're saying I'm wanting to be better for something. Like, where did this come from? It's like, well, let's look at that.
Oh,
Where does it come just out of the blue? Do you think about it? Do you look around, go, oh, I should be doing better than this? Or does it come in those quiet moments? When do you like something that needs to be worked on? When does that come up for you? If that makes sense.
usually when something has pointed something out to me or caused it, or using the gym thing as an example, it came to me because like I just, yeah, I felt overweight and just, yeah, out of shape, the whole thing. And I had thought about joining a gym and all the rest of it, and for quite some time. And then um yeah, that's
So
interesting because I didn't actually start that. Well, I was kind of pushed into it, not to, I mean, I suppose I could have been pushed into it and not gone. I do take responsibility for part of it, but Richard took me there, to this gym I'd been thinking about one night. It was a new one opening, and we'd taken the kids out 10-pin bowling. They were only little. And I said, oh, I'm going to go and check that gym out round the corner. And he said, well, let's go now. And I said, no, I'm not going now. Like, got to go home. And he goes, no, no. And right or wrong, he was going. So off we went. And then he said, my birthday was coming up. And he said, for my birthday, he'd sign me up and do like the 3-month membership. And then I can do whatever after that. And that was the end of that. Off I went, got going on it.
but it came from you first,
Yes, yeah.
right? So what I'm getting to at here is like there's some part of you that's desiring something. And when that small part of us, that's actually your soul. It's your soul that's going, hey, let's try this. Hey, what about this? But your human self is what's keeping it stuck, shot down, limiting it. But those little moments of desire where it's not coming from external, it's coming from you. You had someone externally help you get there, which was
Yeah.
great because he thought he was encouraging you and doing the right thing, being helpful. So he was supporting you in that. But this is like, now we don't have anyone. Now I've got to do this all for myself. And whenever you get those quiet moments saying, hey, that's your soul's desire. There's nothing, that's like the highest part of us. And not allowing that is what's making us unhappy. Not fulfilling that is making us unhappy. So you're saying that I want to just be my authentic self and just live my life. Well, what needs to change in order for you to do that? And it's your mindset to start with. And then shifting the emotional space, and then the body will come. Because this mindset that you have now isn't going to create the shift and change.
And that, I think, is part of it. Like I just have to, I feel stop trying to change. Maybe there was nothing to change in the first place.
If there was nothing to change, then you wouldn't feel like you needed to. You'd be happy. You'd be content. You'd be blissful. You'd be appreciating life. You're grateful, but you don't appreciate life. You don't allow yourself to see the beauty in life. You don't allow yourself to just enjoy the pretty rocks and the smelly, nice oils. You're too busy questioning them, belittling them. They're just things until you give them a meaning, which you're doing. Can you just
And
allow
that's what I'm
yourself to
wondering.
appreciate those things and just enjoy them for what they are? pretty.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, um, way back in the day, I used to just do all that. I didn't really give thought to it. And I mean, that's where I know that can take a sharp left turn because, I know that it's said, without thinking, without striving for more, blah, 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 all the rest of it and stuff like that. Um, that's one thing, but just living my life, not thinking, oh, but what if this? What if I look into that? What if I do all this, that, look into the meaning of this, that, and the rest of it? Just live my life, like I've got a memory of when I was, I was I was probably about 7 or 8, I guess. And I found this dog. It was a Labrador up at the shops. We had just a little block of shops in a small neighborhood where we lived. And Mum had asked me to go and get something. So I was up there and I found this dog wandering around. So I brought it home with me. And I've just got this clear vision of, we found its owner and that. But while we minded it until we found the owner, I've got a vision of myself sitting out in the backyard with I don't know if you'd remember the canvas awning, tarpaulin type things,
Yep.
that big heavy canvas things that Mum and Dad had put that out, and I was just out there sitting with the dog in the sunshine in the backyard reading its stories, and had some water for it and stuff like that, and there was just no question about it. I just,
That's the joy of being a child.
yeah,
There is no
and it was just,
questions.
no, it was just sitting there and without even knowing it, just like obviously enjoying the sunshine and the surroundings, and the fact that we didn't have a dog at the time. We always had dogs, but just not at that time. And just having this dog and enjoying its company for
Mm.
who knows why. I just did. I didn't ask. It just, and I read a story, whether it just
Mm.
just happened. I didn't
Mm.
question that. And
Can you allow yourself to do that simple thing again? Can you allow yourself to just experience life just as it is? Sit in the sun, read a book, just be present in the moment? Can you bring that aspect back into your life right now? Be fully present in the moment without thinking about last week, last year, 50 years ago, 50 years in the future.
I don't know if I'll ever be fully present in the moment. Um, and I mean, this is none of my business, but I don't know if anybody ever is, to be honest. That's just my viewpoint. Yeah, we can all be, sitting and watching the TV and in the moment, but, you know, with just a flick of your eyes off to the side and back again, like I could be watching the TV and then my eyes might flick over to that plant and then back. I might not actually give thought to it, but even that is temporarily out of the present, or hear a car horn or something like that. It just, so whatever. That's a spin off there. But yeah, there's just something that's through all this conversation. So I appreciate that from you giving me the minute to just you know discuss it. It's just something there about just just be me,
Mm.
whatever that is, which is maybe going to be different every couple of minutes. or, you know, definitely different from day to day, but, you know, yeah. Um, it's kind of like, it's not really a sadness, but just, yeah, that was that, you know, kind of realization, if that's the right word, of, well, that was that part of my life, you know, and that's okay, because I just something there that just does make it feel to me like, I suppose I used to get a little bit annoyed, like, you know, I've learned all this stuff. Why do I keep going backwards? Why do I keep circling back? And maybe I do for that very reason, is that that's where I'm meant to be. You know, I'm just meant to be. Obviously, at the time, I was probably meant to take a certain path, but what's that saying? All roads lead to home, some shit like that. I don't know, something along those lines. But yeah,
So by just being you, by going back, right? Always an interesting expression. If you're following your authentic self, you should be feeling blissful.
mm,
And if you're attaching an experience in life where things do take a pivot, right? You experienced some trauma, some abuse, which is pretty fucked up. And, you know, unfortunately, as a child, we don't have a lot of control over that. And what that then does, it's like we can allow that to be our turning point, which then enables us to continue down that road. Or we can go, well, it's fucked up, but it doesn't define you. Your marriage doesn't define you. Your job doesn't define you. The titles that we like to call ourselves don't define us. The only thing that defines us is our actions in this moment, our presence in this moment, and how we think and feel about ourselves. And if we're not happy, we're not experiencing that pleasure or joy, or just being in neutral. So when we say being present, yeah, of course we can look over and I can see all my altar and stuff in this moment. It's not distracting me from being fully present with you because we're engaged. And yes, we're still here. I'm not thinking about what's for dinner. I'm not talking about going, like, there's nothing else in this container. There's nothing else in this moment. This is being fully present. You're reading, you're not doing anything else, enjoying this, keeping our mind calm. Because if we continue to spiral through the patterns and the stories we tell ourselves, that's what's keeping you stuck in the past. That's what's keeping you going back. As you said, we want to go back. But going back has never made you happy either. There was a point when we're 7, of course. Well, I was never fucking happy at 7. I appreciate that you may have experienced some joy there. That was awesome. But it's like, okay, well, I want to experience this present state of just being okay with everything in life. How can I be that fully now? Because we can't go back to being 7 unless you go into a caring home and have all responsibilities removed from you. That's the alternative. No, thank you. I don't want that. Don't want someone telling me what to do, what to eat. Here's dinner. You've got to go to school, got to go to work. Okay, well, I know I have certain responsibilities, got to go to work, whatever. Got to maintain my house because I've chosen to live here, whatever. But then how can I move forward to embrace life? Aside from all the trauma, all of the stuff that's happened, because as you said, we've all had stuff happen. Yeah. But how can I still experience bliss? How can I still just be appreciative? Grateful is one thing, appreciation is another. And be content with my life and my experience. And whatever life throws at me, it's like, yeah, I've got this. But I'm not going to continue to spiral down, or that kind of sadness that you said was kind of not sadness looming over, but it's not joy and it's not blissfulness and it's not equilibrium either. So it sits just below that space. Then what are the stories you need to either stop telling yourself or just shift, right? Whatever happened in the past, today I get to change. Today I get to choose that I'm going to do absolutely nothing today. I'm not going to feel guilty. I'm not going to be shameful about it. I'm just going to enjoy that yesterday I had a day off because I fucking needed it because I was exhausted. I'm going to honor my body and honor my emotional and mental health in the moment. So there's great start. Today is another day. All right. So it's something you have to give up something in order to have something. Right? Something's got to, either way, got to give up good for bad, bad for good, doesn't matter, because it's just balance and choice. So if you're wanting to just be fully authentic, well, tell yourself that story. I'm going to enjoy today. I'm just going to be blissful. I'm just going to just be in this present state, whatever emotions come up. That means not being stuck in a story, not being attached to any emotion. Feeling sadness, oh, well, that will go. Feeling happy, oh, that's good. That was lovely. That will go. This too shall pass. Not attaching to any one thing. And in the moment, we're just being attached to the stories or to the feeling of, whatever this is, not thinking it can change. Well, no, it won't. While we continue to think that. You don't need to be better. You just need to be. Allow yourself to be and experience life. And what does that, and then every day you're going to craft that, because you can go, oh yeah, well, what does that look like for me? Well, I know what it doesn't look, I know what it looks like the opposite way, or what doesn't feel good, because here I'm calling out again. So how can I just enjoy myself for whatever enjoyment looks like for me? How can I just be in that neutral space, which means never happy, but never sad? Having more joy than sadness in my life, because that's why we're here. Sadness is just another pendulum swing to joy. Not meant to be on either one for too long, but we are meant to be neutral for the most part of our day, most part of our life. Well, up until this moment, we get to change it. I know I'm swinging the pendulum more towards joy and bliss because I don't like feeling shitty, sad, angry, depressed, miserable. We all have those moments. We're human. We're meant to. Just not staying attached to any one emotion, not staying attached to any one thought. Yeah. So it's all good saying, okay, well, yeah, I think it's brilliant that you're like, okay, well, I just want to kind of be my authentic self. Yes, fantastic. Amazing. That in itself should bring you joy. The feeling of going, yeah, I'm just going to be me. Good. I'm celebrating that. That brings me joy, even if it is for a moment. And if that doesn't bring you joy, then that's not your authentic self. You're not expressing your authentic self. If you're feeling any sadness about being yourself, that means that you're not being authentic and you're not fucking happy, because we're not meant to be in our sadness. We're not meant to be in that pit of despair, because it's just an emotion that we're attached to.
I think what maybe I'm just a bit tired of is just always being on the search or looking for some way to be better. And I just I'm done with that. I think I don't know if that's a today thing, whereas tomorrow I could be like, no, fuck that, I want to be in the next Olympics or some shit, I don't know. But just trying to always aim for something, or if I do find some new, I don't know, hobby or or whatever to do, I think I'm just going to hold the thought that for me, it's just going to be just because I want to do it. You know, it's not ever going to be the best of what might be. Who knows? Who cares really? But it's just going to be because I wanted to do that then, like I wanted to know at one point what oil made me sleep better or some shit. Now I don't care. It's if I happen to have something there, and I mean I don't know, that could go off in a whole tangent too, but like if I had peppermint or whatever going, and if I believe that, oh shit, shouldn't have done that, that's going to keep me awake or whatever, should have been lavender, I just don't want to give a single fuck about that. This is just an example.
Yeah.
But I don't want to just getting everything right, quote unquote. I don't want to get things wrong. Like, well, I mean, we have to get something wrong, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to purposely set out to get things wrong. But if I wake up to the smell of peppermint in the room, I'm not going to like, oh man, shot myself in the foot there, shouldn't have been having that on, should have been blah, blah, whatever. No, I love the smell of peppermint, and that in itself should be enough to make me content just to drift back to sleep. I don't give a fuck if the books say shouldn't burn that after 10 o'clock in the morning or some shit, I'm done with all that kind of things. This is just one avenue, of course, I'm talking about, but
so here's something you can do in terms of consciousness. So rather than going, stop trying to like make myself better, I'm fucking done with that. Exactly, you're exhausted. So whenever you're about to make a decision or whenever you're about to do something, it's like, is this, because this is all about being conscious, right? It's like, all right, well, is this actually going to be good for me or not good for me? Because that's what everything comes down to. And if you're choosing it, and even though that it's not going to be good for you, like, yeah, burn whatever oils you like. I do all of the time. Like, that's just a matter of preference and your own emotional state and energy towards it. I truly believe you pick what you need at the time, right? Whether it's the right one or not, it's the right one for you, right? So just enjoy it, just like crystals, just like anything. Poison can be your medicine, and venom is a medicine when it's in the right moment and it's consumed correctly, right? So it's like, okay, if I'm choosing to do this, is this going to be good for me or not good for me? Happy or sad? There's your choice. And if you're choosing to go, oh, well, I know that, I know I'm meant to go to work today, but I just can't face it. Well, the right choice is for you to stay home and chill. The right choice, because that makes you feel good in that moment without the guilt, right? Because that's just bullshit. So moving forward, it's like, okay, well, not everything, fuck, like it doesn't, you don't want to be micromanaging your life, you'll go insane, but feel like a cup of coffee. Oh, should I have a cup of coffee? Who gives a fuck? Right now, I'll have a cup of coffee. Okay, I'll have a glass of water if that makes me feel good while I'm making my coffee, but then that makes me feel good. So choose that, because then that's you honoring your authentic self. That's you going, all right, well, even if, okay, tomorrow I'm going to go to this thing to make my family happy. Ultimately, sometimes we do things that, yes, that was an invitation. It's good. And then there's a part of you that may enjoy it. Okay, just stretched yourself out of your comfort zone and went. That's you being authentic. That's you living your purpose. That's you just living, being you, choosing every moment and every day will be different. Tomorrow, I don't want a fucking coffee. No, I just want to have some water. Okay, cool. Do I want to go back to the gym? well, I'm already telling myself stories. It's like, well, can I find another way to move my body that feels good for me in this moment? Because that's what I'm obviously craving, some form of movement, interaction. Feel lonely? Who can I reach out to just for a chat or a phone call or meet someone who I know will love and trust me, who I connect with, regardless of how I show up. Doesn't give a fuck if I turn up in my beautiful fluffy robe and slippers with my cat, and my cup of tea, whatever, in the middle of the night. Right? That's you being authentic. But it's like, all right, this is the moment. I go, all right, yes, what makes me feel better than not? Right? That's you being authentic moving forward, not going back to being a 7-year-old because that's impossible. That's you giving up your whole sovereignty, responsibility, authority. We're not giving up. We're just choosing to move forward in a way that I can make myself be okay in this present moment because that's all I want in my life. Not going to be this big thing. You've already stated that plenty of times. Don't want any attention on you. That's okay. But it's like, all right, I just want to be.
Yeah, it's funny that well, yeah, I don't know about funny, but anyway, it's something there because part of after you sent me that message this morning of the Zoom link, it had been coming to me like just, I don't know, I just not feeling like I'm getting things right, or, verbal put downs basically. And I thought, you know what, I was in the thing of like being out of shape, been to the gym, got really in shape, now out of shape again. There was just that side of things. And then the whole other realm of self-betterment, all that sort of thing. And it just came to me when I was thinking that is like, you know what, I'm just hands in the air. I don't know what to do. I get things wrong all the time. So I'm just going to say, can you just write me what I need to do?
Yeah.
And I'll do it with no thought.
Absolutely love that you said that, because that's exactly the notes that I made earlier. I'm going to give you a 5-day plan, and I'm going to give you my 30 days to self-love plan. It's an all online course again, the one we did before. It's all online now. I'm going to send you both. I'm going to give you both.
I'll be blunt, honest, and I don't know if I'll use it, but I would really appreciate it.
I will.
And I'm grateful for that you would do that. It's like yesterday, time's up, but when I went to the doctor, she gave me she always does the annual overhaul of, blood tests and this, that, and the rest of it. And I came home and cut it up. I don't know if that was right or wrong, but it was me being me. Again, by me saying I'm just going to be me, I, under no pretense am I saying me being me is 100% right. Absolutely not.
None of us can say that, babe. None of us.
Thing is, I don't, and again, with the bluntness, I don't care if you or the next door neighbour or the person down the road or whoever says that is right or that is wrong. I'm not interested in certain people, present company included. I am interested in opinions. A lot of people I'm not. Whether I am interested in your opinion or not doesn't mean I'm going to follow it or take it. But I've always taught my kids, and I try to adhere by this myself, is like just listen, just be open to listening, and you may or may not learn something, but you may also learn that what they're telling you is what you don't want to do, and that's fine. You can listen. By not listening, you're cutting everything off completely. But just by listening, you could think to yourself, you can just say, oh, well, thanks for that, or whatever. Be polite always, but, just 5% of it you might get to use for yourself. The rest of it could be bullshit to you, but it's that person's truth. So they felt like they needed to share it, whatever. But yeah, that's what I've always said to them is just be open to listen. That's all you have to do. But anyway, it's
Take what resonates. Yeah. And
dragging
there's
the
seeds
time.
planted. Seeds planted.
But isn't it funny how like I thought prior to this session, I thought like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking say to Ada, look, this is gonna take a 5 minute session because I'm just gonna say to you right now, can you just write everything out, how I eat, when I sleep, when I bloody shower of a day or whatever,
Okay.
my life, and I will run with that.
Okay.
And you've written that down too. But at the end of the session, I've said, yeah, okay, that's something, I'll be grateful for that and I will receive it. However, I don't know if I'm going to do that,
That's
you
all we
know.
can do. That's all we
Yeah.
can do. It's like, yeah,
But thank you. I do
that's the
appreciate
intention.
it.
Pleasure.
Um,
Always a pleasure, my love.
yeah, but anyway, leave you to your Saturday. So
Yeah. I was going to say,
thank
because it
you.
is Saturday, probably Monday, if I can get
Oh,
you
no,
like
just
Monday,
whenever.
Tuesday.
Just
I'll,
no, you do you. I mean, I'm
yeah.
not. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So, but I've got a note here, my love. So yeah, I'll do it very early next week. Mondays are usually quite busy, but
No, honestly,
Tuesday,
just
yeah,
I'm not going to be like when you do it, you do it. If you do it, if you
I
decide not
will. Of course I will. I've honored you with that. I said I would. Said
well,
I
thank
would.
you very mumuch.
Yeah.
I appreciate you listening, and yeah, sometimes I think it's just a matter of being able to talk it out to
100%.
things crop up that you didn't even know you needed,
Yeah.
um, just often by way of conversation. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oftentimes we just need someone that will just sit and listen. Yeah.
mm,
And that in
mm,
itself is cathartic. So yeah.
mm.
All right, my love. Great
Anyway,
connecting with
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Enjoy
you
the
very
rest of
much.
your weekend. And I'll
Okay.
send this through early next week.
Yep.
And I'll send you
Thank
the
you.
link to this too if you ever want to watch it back.
Okay, and you'll have to end this because I don't
I
know.
will, of
I
course.
think I
Yeah.
just tapped my phone or something, but
Yeah. No,
anyway,
that's fine.
thank
I
you.
absolutely will. All right, my love. Well, you take care.
Okay.
I'll talk
You
soon.
too. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.